Hello Multiverse, welcome to Omniverse Gamers. My name is Damian Bazzaio. This video is going to remind DMs and players why it's important to narrate failures. Now, you're like, what do I mean by that? Basically, everyone loves to narrate a crit. You get a crit, you get a kill, you want, I put my spear right through his chest and, it spits out the other side, or I cut his leg right off and he bleeds out, or, everyone always loves to narrate successes and criticals and major hits. On the flip side of that, a lot of times your players, they don't do nothing. They only get 3 or 4 turns per game because you don't do a lot of combat, or you don't have one big match of combat or whatever, and they only get a couple turns and they fail every time. I mean, I cast Firebolt. I roll the 3. I'm done. And then you move on to the next person. Yes, that speeds things along, but then that person's not having any fun. Like, there's no fun there. To me, when people fail, describe the failures more. It's like, you cast Firebolt, he sees you at the last minute, he sees that fire come out of your finger, and he reacts just in enough time to, your bolt just goes just errant, Did that take any much more time? It took 3 more seconds, and it kept the player interested. Like, why did I miss? You know what I mean? Like, a sword comes, I swing my sword, I rolled a 4. Shit. Or I say I rolled a 16. I rolled a 16. Oh, his armor class is 17. You come in, decide, you missed. Next person, your sword swing in and you actually hit him. You hit him, but his armor just strong enough to glance the blow off to the side. So he failed, but he still swung his sword and he had fun. You're still, you know what I mean? Like, my girlfriend sometimes will just be like, 7, no. And, like, that's her turn. And I'm like, well, wait, what did you do? You didn't do anything. You just rolled the dice. Like, you didn't even, do anything. And then, that can, and some people are fine with that, but then sometimes people get bored. They're like, why are you bored? Like, well, because you're just sitting there, you're failing all day, rolling 3s and 2s. Or they make me roll a saving throw, and sometimes I just roll really well, and sometimes I roll really bad. But when I'm rolling really well, I make all my saving throws, and they're just like, oh, so instead of just being like, I cast Toll the Dead, make a saving throw, and I passed, too bad. Yes, I can do that, but that's about, and obviously if you hit it, you can hear the toll of the bell, and I'm like, you cast Toll the Dead, and he hears a faint bell toll, but then he kind of he knows that, he's responded to that, he's felt the Toll the Dead before, and he, as the bell goes to toll, he quickly kind of shouts and counteracts that, and he doesn't hear it. Does that really happen? No, but he made a saving throw. Rather than saying, he made a saving throw, make a reason for why he passed his saving throw. You know what I mean? Like, the boulder's coming down the thing. You did a deck save, you got out of the way. Great. That's an example of a success. Or you failed your deck save. You go to get out of the way, and you do pretty good, but then the rock just kind of hits you right in the knee as you go to twist. It just hits your knee and just kind of flips you around and knocks you on the ground. So you're still narrating. They're still using their acrobatics or whatever they are, that they're an acrobatic player. But then they just, or if you're a strength player, you're trying to, I'm gonna weather this storm with strength. It's like, okay, rather than saying, you failed, you take 2d10 damage from the boulder. This thing just kind of smashes right into you, and now you have a choice to either let it push you with it, or you can let it roll right over the top of you and see what happens. You know what I mean? They failed, but then give them a choice of how the failure is gonna affect them. Always describe your failures. 1s and 2s. Fumbles used to be fun. Fumbles don't really work in 5th edition that well because it punishes high level characters. A 5th level monk's gonna fumble a lot more than a 1st level fighter. It's sad because fumbles were fun, but 5th edition is already punishes action economy. So if you're adding fumbles to that, it gets messy in 5th edition. If that makes sense. But yeah, this is just a really short video, a reminder to always narrate your failures. Don't let your players just be frustrated from just doing nothing all the time. I fail. Describe those failures. Those are learning dramatic moments that they're failing. Use that as part of the story. Use that to make tension. And why do you keep failing? You keep your sword. Maybe you might want to oil up your sword for the next battle. It's nothing mechanically anything to do with it. But just like, your sword has a little bit too much oil on it, and you slid right by that one shot that he used against you, or he parried you at the last second, or he's heard that spell before. He's heard that vicious mockery. He's heard that joke before, or something. He's gonna overcome it. Just always remember to narrate your failures, and it'll just help the game. It'll just help feel it less numbery and more realistic. You know what I mean? You don't always succeed at everything. It's all about numbers. It's a story. So the stories, you have to fail. You have to succeed and fail. Sometimes you fall off a mountain. Sometimes your friend catches you before you fall. It's just sometimes you just fall off the mountain and you die. But that's boring. If you're falling, you give them chances to grab a leaf or grab something, or an ally can swing around on a rope, or describe the failures to them and let them overcome them. Basically, it's like having failure states. You don't just die. You failed. This happens. You fail. This happens. You fail. This happens. Narrate it. Make it something, and it'll be a lot more fun. So yeah, that's just a quick tip on why to narrate failures. We Omniverse Gamers, subscribe. Hope to do some more quick tips like this. Have a great day and keep on gaming.